Hello, everybody. How's it going out there? What's good? What's good? What's good?
Yo.
Hello. So, this is about zombies, Trape X asks appropriately. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a big... Can you switch to another song?
Okay.
That was a big thing, and ACHARA and I also have shot a reaction to a breakdown video, which should be coming out after this live stream.
Yeah.
And that was something that came up towards the end of that breakdown video. It was like, seems to be a lot of clickers missing in this show about clickers.
Yeah, it's weird because when I was watching it, I didn't feel the lack.
I did,
but
I'm also coming from a different place than you.
Exactly. Hello, microphone. So for me, I was just like enjoying the ride because, in case you don't know, I love an emotional movie, an emotional show, and I really enjoyed the relationship between Ellie and Joel and like all of the other characters in the show as well, like all the different people that you meet and just like the different aspects of what it means to survive and be human in this world, this infected world. And so I didn't really realize that, there's like a severe lack of zombies.
Yeah. I mean, I guess with the expectation of season 2 coming and all that stuff, maybe they're saving some of that for season 2, and it's been rearranged in such a way that we sort of have to trust the filmmakers,
right?
And go, oh, don't worry, it's gonna come back, and it's gonna come back strong, and you're gonna get all the things you're asking for in season 2. This is just like the first stage of things, like a virus. It's just the
like
first.
A virus.
It's the first stage of things.
Or a cordyceps.
Oh, sure, or a cordyceps, or a pandemic, or something. It's just the first stage. And so, to White Coat, ACHARA has not played Last of Us Part 2.
I watched you play some of it, though.
She did watch me play some of it. I did play it all the way through.
I think I know most of the stuff that happens in it, because the story was so engrossing. I just remember, like, every time you were playing, I was just kind of, like, watching. And then you'd be like, ACHARA, go back to work. And I'm like, why don't I get to play?
That's not what happened. You're making me sound like such a jerk. That's not what happened.
No, I stayed and watched. Yeah.
So, okay. I'm hoping that I don't know. It could go one of two ways, right? With the second season, it could be that the season 2 is just more of this. In terms of its translation of Last of Us Part 2, it's like it takes this artistic, almost indie film-like approach to the whole thing. In telling, the story of Last of Us 2.
Well, I could see how they do that because the story's like pretty.
Yeah. Or they listen to what everybody's saying, or they were already planning on doing that. It's just like, look, this is just the starting point. It's like a pilot season, right? To get us into the next stuff and all that. They set up just the horde of clickers and whatnot in I forgot which Boston or something. I forgot which town it was.
Kansas City.
Kansas City. Thank you.
Yeah.
And so you're gonna see that come back maybe. I don't know.
I have this like weird theory. Maybe it's not so weird, where they did the show and they just weren't really expecting it to be quite as popular or quite.
You're not the only one who thinks that. A lot of people have felt that. Like some people, I think, said that in the comments about like, oh, HBO, you only granted a certain amount of money for a show.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, I feel like they maybe didn't have as much budget as they would need to like really do the infected in the way that people really wanted, but they tried the best with what they had.
Like the heads at HBO were like, wait, this is popular?
Yeah, they were like, wait, but we canceled Batgirl. We weren't sure about what this.
I mean, they even moved one of the episodes to avoid being on the same day as something else.
The Super Bowl.
Yeah. It's like would they do that for Game of Thrones, you think? Would they have moved Game of Thrones back 2 days early? I don't think they would.
The Super Bowl is a pretty big deal.
I know, but I don't think they would.
For Americans.
I don't think they would have moved Game of Thrones. I think it would have just been on. No, you're watching this instead of the Super Bowl. Where is it? Very, very zombie. That's right. HBO is out of Disney Plus. I don't know what that means. Wait to watch next season in which app? What does that mean?
Oh, in India.
Okay. So, react to latest video, Cosmonaut Variety Hours. Did you play second part? Yes, we just got into that. What model agency does ACHARA work for?
The Kitchen.
No zombies in a zombie show! Yeah. So we've been saying. I mean, we're gonna hear that a lot all stream. I think it's just like because it feels in a way like let's assume that this is the only season.
Yeah.
Right. And it ends kind of abruptly, like the way that Glow did, right? Or any number of shows on Netflix. This is it. Like you set up in episode 5, like the bloater and whatnot. It's like that never came back. Like what is that?
Yeah,
you
like,
never
what
answered that.
happened? What happened? Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this big monster comes out of the ground and it just never pays off. In the game, that pays off like 2 or 3 times. Like you see that, and it's very, very frightening.
I think I remember having to fight one. Was it in like a gym or something like that? Yeah.
Yeah.
I was running around terrified.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that's somewhat of a disservice to the story to not bring that back in. It's like I don't know, man. Isn't that Chekhov's gun? It's like you set up this big monster that never comes back.
Yeah, I hadn't really thought about that just because I was so engrossed in the adventure. Like every week we had a new episode. They were traveling to a new place and they were interacting with new people and new things were happening. And so I could kind of put that out of my mind because we left that behind in Kansas City.
Yeah.
And no one ever talked about what happened. But I suppose it'd be really difficult for news to get around, right? Like back in the old days when we didn't have cell phones or whatever, then it would take a while before news would kind of like travel down the grapevine with people. And so I guess it would make sense that maybe you just wouldn't hear anything about what happened in Kansas City for a while, you know?
Sure, yeah.
I don't know.
No.
I know they have radio and
but what's your
but
why are you mentioning that? The lack of communication.
That because we didn't hear anything about it afterwards, you know what I mean? Like when they were in another
they never quite brought that up. Like,
or like
then Joel and Ellie never kind of like had a what do you call it? A debrief.
Right.
Like, whew, that was a big one, huh? What was that about? That was crazy. I mean, I guess with all the emotional stuff going on in the show, they didn't really have an opportunity to like talk about the crazy shit because it was all about the people that were dying in the process. You know, the brothers that died. Like Ellie was dealing with that, and the apology, for, that whole. Yeah. Anyway, the Anubab says in the chat, the game is survival horror genre, not emotional genre, but the game is emotional.
They changed it.
I just watched the video game ending again last night and this morning because people were calling me crazy, and
were you crazy?
Well, okay. You guys aren't gonna see this until after this live stream, but like in the breakdown video, I mentioned why I thought what I thought, and I think I was accurate. It has to do with the fact that 2 things in the video game, Ellie's face she just has a soft sort of not her face, but just her vibe. She has a soft sort of feeling to her.
Ashley Johnson's voice is like...
It's also sweeter.
It's sweeter.
Yeah.
She has like a really sweet disposition naturally in her voice.
Yes. And so outside of when Ashley Johnson is getting enraged and using the F word, like she has a very sweetness. She has a sweetness to her, right? And so there's that natural thing baked in addition to the fact that the video game only gives you so much, like in terms of variety of muscle movement. Yeah. And so Ellie just naturally looks nice. Bella Ramsey looks hard.
I mean, oh God, I loved her in Game of Thrones. She was like...
Yeah, it worked for that. It was perfect. It worked for this as well.
Yeah.
But that's why, like, especially when you compare the two, Bella Ramsey's does feel like much harder than the way it's played in the game. The feeling is the same. Yeah. The attitude is the same. I was definitely like, I think I just had a wrong choice of words. It's like saying she was upbeat was the wrong choice of words. It's just softer. And so it comes across as a little bit more positive than negative. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm sure I'm going to have to bring that up again. Let's see. I really enjoyed the show. Never played Last of Us, so I'm going to buy it this week. You know what? Now that we've finished the show, I think that, if you've never played the show or watched the show or played the game, I think the best way to experience this, if I were to give anybody advice, is to watch all the episodes except for episode 9, then go back and play the game, and play it all the way through, and then watch episode 9.
Why do you suggest that?
Because once you know the ending, you know the ending, and it's not surprising.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that that's the order. That's how you do it. That's the way to go about it. There's a whole like Bible on how to watch Star Wars that's similar, like the episodes to watch Star Wars in, and you can just skip episode 1. Like you watch episode 2. I forgot. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
I'm not going to try to like regurgitate it. I'm sure maybe the Norse guy knows. The Norse guy, I really enjoyed watching your guys' reaction for the show. Really appreciate you being your buddy. Thank you so much for your comment. Dr. Jedi Knight, I will admit there were not enough infected in the show. Oh, whoopsie. He's a doctor now. I dubbed the doctor.
I dubbed the doctor, Dark Jedi Knight.
Time to take the hypocrite's oath. Sorry, I just fucked up my window here. Let me fix that right there. Boom, boom, boom. Where's the doctor? Hold on.
Doctor. Is there a doctor in the building who's
Jedi?
Also
here it is.
A Jedi Knight?
Dark Jedi Knight. I will admit that there were not enough infected in the show. They should have had infected. That's a little bit.
They should have had the infected.
They should have had the infected. They had to fight on their way to the hospital. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I feel like, you know, what you said would have actually made for a stronger ending if Joel had to fight or run away from people harder when he had Ellie and was grabbing her and taking her away from the hospital. Because it just seemed like, it was like kind of that heroic shot where it was like, wow, this is really easy. Mm-hmm. I guess he killed everyone on the way to grab her, and maybe that's why there was no one left.
You should see what he could do with a pen.
I wonder if he killed the nurses, though. We didn't see him.
He killed everybody.
Oh, dang.
He killed everybody. That's the point.
I know.
It's like that's the darkness, you know?
Because I thought, oh, maybe, because we didn't see him kill the nurses, I thought, oh, maybe he let them go. Because I would imagine that being someone with medical skill makes you very, very important.
Oh, he didn't kill the nurses.
I didn't see him kill the nurses.
No, he didn't kill. I'm sorry. I remember. He didn't kill the nurses. No.
Okay, phew.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No, I don't think he did.
At least there's that.
Anyone with a gun.
Do you know what
Anyone
I mean?
who tried to stop him, that's who he took out. Vishal Vishu, thank you very, very much for your super chat. Clap, clap, clap.
Clap.
I don't have the soundboard like Sintel does.
Oh, he does that? That's so cute.
He does a little audience clap. Hey, thank you so much, Vishal Vishu, for your generous super. You're keeping the lights on, the roof over our head, and the candy in ACHARA stomach. I really enjoyed, let's see, I was surprised that they didn't end this season with a cliffhanger. They did, actually. I mean...
What cliffhanger?
The emotional cliffhanger of doubt.
Oh, fair.
Which is like, okay. I mean, that's pretty much like beat for beat, like line for line, straight from the game.
So when you played the game, how long did you have to wait for part 2?
A while. But there was like a lot of weird things. Okay. It's been a minute, okay? But like there was a lot of weird things about there was concern as to whether or not Joel was even going to be in the game. Because I remember I did a reaction to the very first teaser of Last of Us 2, and they just showed Joel and Ellie, and like Joel was playing the guitar or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, all right, cool. I wasn't like losing my shit, but then people in the comments are coming at me hard, like, how are you not more excited? Blah, 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 blah. We didn't even know Joel was going to be in this game. And I was like, oh, well, I thought he was always going to be in the game. So I didn't have any doubts there.
What?
But like, yeah, there was talk about him not being in the game.
Ren Einsburn said he killed the nurses. They won't show it, though. Oh, that's rough, man.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go, then. I don't care at this point. He killed so many people. That's what matters.
I know.
I would like to take a poll, though, of how people felt about the execution of the execution.
The execution of the execution.
How did you feel about the execution of the execution? Of all of the hospital in the hospital scene.
In the hospital, okay.
Let's see.
Mr. 47 says, I know for story purposes, Ellie is the only cure, but it's a big world out there. Logically, there has to be more immune survivors out there. I'm sure there's islands of people where infected couldn't go. Yeah, there must be. But at this point, it's like, how do you even find them? Do you know what I mean? I mean, that would be an interesting thing to explore. And also, if Marlene kind of, well, I guess she wouldn't know exactly what happened to Ellie to make her immune, right? Because Ellie's mom said that she cut the umbilical cord before she was bitten, and she was lying. Oh my God.
Hold on. I'm trying to figure out how to phrase these things. Okay.
I just had an epiphany.
What?
Well, you know how Joel lied to Ellie at the end, right? About what he did?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like for her sake, as
Yeah.
parents do. Her mom also lied to save her life. Anyway, I thought that was quite cool.
Yeah, stay engaged with the audience for a sec while I do this, because I'm trying to figure this out.
Because you know, he did lie for her, right, in order to like make her feel better, and as our parents do for us. But her mom lied to Marlene and said that she had cut the umbilical cord before she got bitten in order to save Ellie's life. And so they bookended the episode with 2 instances of parent or parent figures in her life lying for her. I mean, I like the kind of what is it that they call in like literature and art, like not the reflection, whatever. You guys who are smarter than me and studied English lit or whatever at the college level can probably tell me what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I like that, how they kind of bookended the episode with things, and like bookended the show with callbacks to other things that they kind of planted throughout. Like, it was really, really well executed, just from like the point of view of, you know, television or media being art. I thought it was so well done. It's such like a top tier show. It's so good. Yeah. Anyway, what else do we have here? Rajat Raghav says, do you think it would have made sense to have zombies around when they were in snow region? Because there were very less people who lived in those regions even before the apocalypse occurred. Yeah. I think probably you would get high concentrations of infected in
All right, there we go.
cities.
Ah, that was tough. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. I was like struggling to figure that out. Size yourself. Thanks for being a member for 8 months. I was a bit surprised by Joel killing all the fireflies. Haven't played the game. That being said, Joel and that whole scene is terrifying. Was he terrifying? It's so hard to just because I knew what was coming, it's so hard for me to see it objectively.
Yeah.
You know?
It was hard for me too.
You didn't know what was coming though.
I did.
How?
You told me.
When did I tell you?
Like years ago.
Why did I do that?
I don't know what happened. We were doing something. I'd been playing the game. I didn't finish.
Oh, so you weren't
the game.
surprised at all?
No, I wasn't really. I mean, I knew what was coming, but I didn't know exactly how it was going to play out because I didn't play the game. But you just told me, you were like, I'm going to spoil the ending for you, okay? And I was like, okay. And then you said, so he kills everyone. Like, they make it there. Because I was all like, oh, do they ever make it there? And then you're like, yeah, they do. But then he kills everyone because they were going to kill Ellie. And I was like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah, I would really love to know what you guys felt about the hospital scene. Someone was like, just post the poll, Ritesh. And I'm like, dude, I have to it can only fit so many characters. So it's like very frustrating. But yeah, so I want to discuss the results of this poll. Thoughts on Brendan Fraser winning the Oscar. So yeah, we didn't watch the whole Oscars. We watched clips from the Oscars, and I'm very angry.
Why?
I just needed a clickbaity point to
okay.
put an ad drop.
I was like, why?
Did I seem genuine?
Yeah. What did Brendan do to you? Who did you think should have won?
No, I think that everyone who won, I called that.
Yeah.
I made that prediction. I knew Brendan Fraser was going to win. I knew Michelle Yeoh was going to win. I knew Last of Us, Everything Everywhere All at Once was going to clean house.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to clean house. So it won directors, it won screenplay, it won Best Picture. We don't have to get bogged down with talking about that. But I was happy, but I was already pre-happy.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, oh yeah, because when we were playing this is the last I'm going to say of the Oscars, okay, for the stream. I was playing clips from the Oscars while ACHARA was doing something, like working or whatever. And then I don't know who won what, but I think it was Brendan Fraser or something. And he was so surprised when he got on stage. And I'm like, who'd have seen that coming? Who'd have seen that coming? Not me. Nope, not me. Nobody saw that coming. And every single one, I was like, who'd have seen that coming? And Charles was like, shut up, please.
Yeah.
Okay, what did I miss? So, first off, the poll. Well, there's 131 votes here. I'd like to let it accumulate a little bit more before we talk about the poll results.
Okay.
What I'd like to do while we're waiting for that is, we had to wait 7 years for part 2. 7 years, ACHARA.
7 years. Wow.
Yeah. And before the show is over, just like Game of Thrones, we'll get a part 3. No, wait, that doesn't make any sense.
What?
The show will conclude before we get a part 3.
Yeah, if you get a part 3 at all.
Yeah. No, we'll get a part 3. It'll come out years and years and years after the end of the show. Just like Game of Thrones.
Uh-huh.
Right. That's not
okay.
Okay, that's not funny.
Yeah.
Utkarsh Gupta, thank you so much for your super chat, buddy. Yes, you can see it. On the official podcast, they explained their decisions this episode. They said Ellie knew Joel be lying. Joel be lying. That OK was accepting the break of their trust now.
Huh. No, you definitely get the sense that Ellie knew. Like, she's a smart cookie. You know what I mean? Like, she could suss out that something was wrong. And I feel like they've hung out with each other enough that she can tell when he's being untruthful. But like, what good would it have known for her to know that stuff, I guess? You know? I
wish they showed him kill with a brick like in the game. Yeah, Sintel was asking for that, and they never gave it to him.
I was quite happy with the ladder, though. That tickled me when they finally did that.
Laura, who played Abby, was one of the nurses.
Yes.
I did not catch that. If you don't keep saying the same thing. How are you guys doing? Thank you, Roman Whiskey. We're doing well. In the game, only killing the doctor is required, but nurses are optional if you're having a bad day. I don't even remember that. I remember the doctor. That was a very poignant moment, but not the nurses.
Well, yeah, because in the game he was unarmed, right? And in this one he picked up a scalpel. It's like, what, sir? You went to medical school. What are you gonna do with that scalpel? What damage?
Yeah. Emotional damage.
Yeah, you should have. As soon as he came in, if you were serious about that, you should have grabbed the scalpel and moved. But you would have died anyway. So, silly man.
Tricks are for kids. Princess Consuela Banana Fact. Well, the creators, first off, thank you. The creators expect the people to accept that both versions can coexist. Show has more drama because it's a show. They kept making that very clear. So I'm not expecting any more infected or action in season 2. But like...
But Ellie becomes a real badass in season 2, doesn't she?
That is so perplexing to me. Well, okay. Game of Thrones has quite a bit of action, right? The show.
Yeah.
It's not like they took all of that out of the book, out of the show, out of the story to make the show, right? In fact, they added more violence in the show than there was in the book.
Right.
So, I don't know. It's fine. Part 2 will be adapted into more than one season. When asked if season 2 will include the entire Part 2 story, Mason said, "No way, no way, no way, no way, no way." Druckmann added is more than one season. Yeah, it seems to. What if it was like 3 seasons and they really dragged it out? It would be like a Hobbit kind of situation. Big Appa. I have kids, so my reaction to game ending was different than my friends who did not have kids at the time. The ending's all about emotions. Emotional damage and how our past affects our actions. I love the ending.
Yeah, that was the whole thing, wasn't it? I feel like as a parent, it probably hits you differently to watch that. Like, I can imagine feeling absolutely wrecked while watching that and like kind of putting yourself in the shoes, in Joel's shoes, you know, and just being like, what would I ever in my right mind sacrifice the life of my child for the greater good? Like, would I be able to do that?
So for those of you who are going to watch the breakdown reaction, you're going to hear me talk about this a little bit. Because ACHARA asked me, like, was Joel right or wrong?
Yeah.
Right? So I think there's enough. Okay, it's 202 votes. Let's end the poll. So we'll come back to that question of whether or not Joel was right or wrong. And we'll ask the audience the same thing. So the results of the poll is, so people who played the game I should have done this poll a little differently. But anyway, people who played the game, 44%. Show is perfect. So the way that scene played out, 44%
felt like it was perfect.
Said it's perfect.
Yeah.
Didn't play. Okay, of the people who played the game, 14% wanted it to be more like the game. So I don't know how to do these numbers.
Okay.
Let me think about that for a second. Okay, so 50%. How do I do this? So I'd say like a third of the people who are watching right now, a third of them wanted it to be more like the game. I'm part of that third. I'm part of the minority.
Mm-hmm.
Like I saw that scene play out, and I'm like, oh, it would have been cool if it was a bit more. If it felt dangerous. It didn't need to be an action sequence. It didn't need to go full John Wick. But I wanted to feel scared, like, oh, what if he's not able to get to her in time? It's like if you're.
Are you ever scared that John Wick is not going to be able to execute?
No, that's the point. That's my point.
Oh, okay.
Is that I wanted it to feel harrowing. Like if I had never played the game, I should feel scared that he's not going to get to her in time.
Right.
That's the point.
Because you don't know if he's a badass.
But the way it played is, oh, he's totally going to get there. Like, there's no doubt in my mind the way this is playing out.
Did
like,
you see the look on his face?
Yeah.
He was just like, no, I'm doing this,
yeah.
you know?
So now we have the people who didn't play it, right? And so I'd say it's the same percentages, actually, approximately. So about a quarter of the people who didn't play the game said they didn't love the scene. And the 75% of the people who didn't play the game said they loved the scene. So those are the results of the poll.
Excellent. Good mathing.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just rounding. Let's see. I know for story purposes, I'll make sure we come back to Joel, the moral thing about Joel.
Yes.
I know for story purposes, Ellie is the only cure, but it's a big world out there. Logically, there has to be more immune survivors out there. I'm sure there's islands of people where infected couldn't go. But, I mean, they showed us, the way they showed it to us says that more than likely, Ellie's the only immune person that's alive.
Well, that's the thing, like...
Because what are the odds that someone gets bitten, delivers the baby, still with the umbilical cord attached, and then cuts it right at the perfect moment?
Yeah, like my brain went off on like a weird, scary tangent where if it was discovered that was the way, can you imagine like how many mad scientist type people would like trap impregnated women or like impregnate women and then at the last second when they're delivering the baby infect them with the cordyceps and then like
as they should
just as an experimentation and then use these children to find cures, you know?
Ashutosh Bajpai says, who is the biological father of Ellie? It's a very open question. There is a theory that he's some Fedra elite. Remember Joel said, what, you're some big shot's daughter?
Yeah.
Well, it's very obvious, isn't it?
Is it? Who's her father? It's not Joel.
Well, if we
he is her daddy.
If we take all the allegorical references of... hold on, don't say it in advance. If we take all the allegorical references that Screen Crush has been talking about, it's very, very clear who the father is, right?
It's God. She had an immaculate conception.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right?
Sure.
Or Ellie's mom was just hoeing it up. I don't know.
Why? Just because...
Why does it matter? Why does it matter who the father is, ultimately? Like, it doesn't matter. Wish me luck tomorrow is my exam. Cool. I know for story purposes, Ellie is the only... Oh, wait, I got to...
You've read that. We've read that twice.
Lorena... Can you read this name?
Laureano.
Okay, Laureano Oliva. Your very, very first super chat is here. That's really, really cool. Thanks so much, dude. Really appreciate you being here. The scene lacked relevance. The kills were just NPC. In the game, it felt like they were real people, like you were making a real impact in the world. I would have to concur. Concur, is that the right word?
Yeah, concur.
Yes, I would
agree.
have to concur, yes.
Yeah, because, I mean, the way that they did the kills, I did like that it was underscored by that music, but I guess that made the violence, like, easier for me to handle because it didn't feel, like... so bad. Do you know what I mean? It was kind of like, oh, look at this beautiful scene where he just like walks through, picks up weapons, and just like just takes them all down, you know?
Now to just like finish this point up, the way that the show paints it, there are no other immune. Unlike this, it's so statistically unlikely that I don't know, man. Maybe it is possible, but like there's a lot of factors at play. You get hit with a zombie bite.
Yeah.
Right? you're pregnant and delivering, and just enough gets into the baby, and you snip the umbilical cord. Like the factors at play there is kind of bananas. Like how many people in the world do you think might have done that? You know what I mean?
Evolution, baby, and it'll keep happening. Like what is it? Nature finds a way.
It was super easy, barely an inconvenience. That scene, the hospital scene. We're still talking about it.
Yeah.
In the game, killing the nurse is optional. The execution Joel made sinister. Yeah, the execution made Joel seem more sinister than the game. It did. And to what where is it? To what Lorena Olivia says, or Oliva, I really agree with that, because the show strips all the humanity from the people he's shooting.
Yeah.
Whereas in the game, you're constantly hearing that feedback from people.
Like what did they say?
I don't remember. I didn't commit it to memory. But
no, but like what sort of things? Like, please don't kill me. I have children. Or is it just that you hear their voices and like they're dying?
All of the above.
Okay.
All of the above. There's just an interactive element there that's just gone in the show.
It's just disturbing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I won't talk about. You guys will see it in the video when we put it out. But what Ryan Airy says, I'm like, that it's interesting. Like that you have to play through it. It's like you have no choice.
Comic Girl 267. I have enjoyed your reactions.
Thank you.
I'm just imitating the emojis. Thank you so much for your generous super. Really appreciate it. You're keeping the lights on, roof over our heads, and candy in a char's stomach. Piyush Sharma loved Tilu, and your reactions part 2 is going to be killer. No pun intended. Or he pun intended it.
Oh yes.
Pun unintended.
You definitely intended that pun.
I'm curious, though, how Bella Ramsey will play older Ellie in part 2. She ages quite a bit and becomes. I don't think she's gonna play it.
You don't think so?
I don't know. I wouldn't want her to.
Why not?
Because she looks young.
She does look young. She is 19, but yeah, she does look young.
I feel like she's gonna be, like, she's gonna look like a baby at 40. Like, I don't think she can age quick enough into this role.
The benefits of being a small person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think she can. Yeah. No, this shouldn't be her. Just like with Game of Thrones, they should get someone else. They change actors mid-season.
Yeah.
You know, I think it makes sense, and I think we would all accept it as long as it's a good actress.
Yeah, and I mean they've killed it with the casting so far.
Yeah.
Like.
Anyway, Piyush Sharma, thank you for your generous super. What were we gonna say with the casting?
No, they've done a really great job with casting in this show.
Yeah.
Like so good. Everyone was just top notch.
Yes.
What? Who did you think was not great?
I still would have liked to have seen Troy Baker play Joel. At the end of it all, he did it. Pedro Pascal did a fantastic job. Loved his performance. I still would have liked to have seen Troy Baker play Joel, or the handsome guy from Game of Thrones.
Which handsome guy?
Who loses his hand?
Oh,
handsome guy.
Yes.
That guy. Yeah.
Yes.
Jamie Lannister.
Yeah,
yeah, I think he could have totally played Joel. He's got the look. He's got Joel's look. And he's,
sure.
But like, if not him, Troy Baker. So there's that.
How did you feel about the addition of like actors from the game being incorporated into the show, but in more of like guest starring roles?
I thought it was cool. I mean, I thought Troy Baker did a fantastic job, you know, as that guy, whose name I can't remember. But if you're gonna have Marlene play Marlene, why not have Joel play Joel? You know, fuck it, have Ellie play Ellie.
I know. I wonder what the feelings were like when like they found out like, oh wait, so she gets to play Marlene again, but we're relegated to like guest stars in the show. I mean, I guess I'll take the work. That's pretty cool.
Well, if you sit and think about it for a moment, who else could Marlene have played? That actress. Who else could she have played in the show that was meaningful?
Yeah.
Like, Troy Baker's character was meaningful, even though he was a side guy. He was meaningful.
Yeah. And also his acting was so good that even though he was this like smaller side character, he was so interesting, and it felt like, you know, he had a inner life and everything that made him so captivating to watch.
Princess Consuela Banana Feck. For example, in the game, the hospital is the scene where you're killing fireflies. It's kind of fun. And in this show, it's fun. I didn't think it was fun. And in the show, they showed him like a villain, even though we know why he's killing. We have a moral dilemma.
Well, I guess because the show gets into our emotions more, and I mean, I definitely felt in that moment when he was going through and killing everyone. Like, I understood why he was doing all of that, but I felt like I was like, God, he's being really, really selfish. You know, he's doing this for selfish reason because she is his reason for living.
Yeah.
And so if she goes, he goes, basically.
Yeah.
He has nothing left to live for.
Yeah.
But it was kind of upsetting that she never had a choice. She never had agency in her own life to make that decision for herself.
Yeah, she never had her Gethsemane.
Gethsemane?
Is that what it's called?
Oh, Jesus when he was crying in the garden?
Yeah. Isn't it called Gethsemane?
Yeah.
Yeah. Piyush Sharma, I just want to say thanks again for your super chat. Glad that we could be your very, very first to pop your apple. Thank you so much. Let's see. So, Kaylee, for me, the music showed the impact of his massacre. Yeah, it's so because you keep saying how the music and the way it was done kind of like it helps you to deal with the violence a little bit more.
Yeah.
Almost in the same way of like in Kill Bill, they went black and white to help kind of tone down the violence a little bit in that big action sequence.
And they weren't focusing on like, oh, look at that bullet hole. Check out the brains falling out or anything like that. A lot
they kind of did. They kind of did.
I mean,
they kind of did.
It was kind of shot like around corners,
sure.
And like I liked the artistic style of shooting.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm done.
But to what Kaylee is saying,
Yeah.
I think that in a way it also speaks to what Ryan was saying, is that the music and it almost makes it worse. It makes it darker. It makes it more sinister.
Yeah.
You know, but maybe ACHARA's just sinister like that.
Yeah. Well, we already know what I would do.
Do we? Do we? Okay, so now is a good opportunity. We'll come back to the remaining super chats in a second and some of the regular chats. I want to do another poll asking y'all, how did you feel?
Was Joel right?
No, but that's too simple, isn't it? I heard about Joel's actions.
Do you have enough words?
Wrong, but I would have done.
I would have with an A.
Wrong. I would have.
I would not done that.
Different. Ha ha. Right. I mean, is there really anything?
I would burn down the world for you, baby girl.
He did the right thing. Uncertain.
Yeah. I think I don't know if I'm uncertain. I definitely feel like morally.
Don't persuade. Don't. What do you call the poll?
Okay.
What do you call it? Don't influence the poll.
I'll shut the F up. Let's answer some questiones.
Don't influence the poll. I want people to make up their own damn mind, as the Oracle would say. So where are we? Vishal Vishu? Yes. Vishal Vishu. Jamie Lannister. Nicolaj Coster. Walda. What?
Wow. That's his name. Is it Nikolai Coster Waldo?
Where is he?
Ah.
Santo. Oh my God. The older we get, the worse the jokes get. Santosh.
They don't call them dad jokes for no reason.
Santosh Krishna. Been here since permanent roommates. Love you guys. 80K. Kids born a day only in India. So plenty of chances for Ellie's circumstances to occur. Improbable, but yeah, man, that's true too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. When you think about
India does take the cake in terms of the amount of people born every single day.
But then after the circumstances of like this, the situation in the show, right? How many people would want to have kids? You know what I mean? Like I remember watching The Walking Dead, and when what's his name's wife got pregnant, I was like, oh God, that's like the worst ever. Is having a baby while you're like on the run from zombies. Plus, then you're bringing a child into the world and this like messed up world. But I guess it's crucial for survival. We've got to have the babies. But
yeah, I think they did a nice job with. I mean, obviously it was barred from the game, but all the greenage that you see, like overtaking the buildings and whatnot, that's exactly what would happen if humanity was gone.
Yeah, because I hate to, burst anyone's bubble, but we are so insignificant. Like if we all,
oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
yeah, if we all left, nature would just take over.
Yeah.
Mother Nature doesn't give a shit about us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Santosh Krishna, I just want to say thank you again, and glad we could be your first super. Glad we could pop your orange glass of chai. In Indian adaptation, who would play Joel and Ellie? I don't know, dude. I'd have to sit and think about that for a minute. Amitabh Bachchan as Joel.
Oh my god, too old.
Nah, you could do it.
He just got injured on set.
Yeah, exactly. Or have Anil Kapoor play Joel and Harshvardhan Kapoor play Ellie.
Ellie.
He could do it. He's pretty versatile.
Yeah.
Or Sonam Kapoor. No, she's too old. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who'd play those characters. I'm not as familiar with the younger actresses in India.
Yeah.
Because I'm not really we're not focused on that.
No.
In our videos, in our reaction videos. All right, let me see some of the regulars here.
Does cordyceps infect animals? I had the same question, but it looks like they don't.
Well, the whole thing with the monkeys, it never came up.
Oh, they had infected monkeys?
In the game.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. But like they're like kind of similar to us, right? So I guess that would make sense.
Okay, hold on. I'm trying to find like the beginning of regular chats that I've missed. Seriously, don't get how people are saying this is one of the best television shows out there right now. It's all right, nothing mind-blowing, not even close to the top HBO show of all time. I can see where you're coming from, Fennec Fox. You have to understand that most video game adaptations are terrible. And so if you take that out of the equation, is the show still amazing?
Yeah.
That's a difficult question to answer. Because
I think it's still like a solid show.
I think it's pretty good still.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's like, would you revisit this again and again and again the way that the game has been revisited?
I would definitely be interested in watching it at least one more time.
Akash Sunil, I think the hospital scene could have been done better. I know it's a show, so we can't have gameplay, but I wanted it to be brutal and would have loved it if they could have pulled out a oneer. Oh, I don't want a oneer. I'm done with oneers, dude. I don't want a oneer, but I can see where you're coming from, though.
I mean, it definitely had the hallmarks of a oneer. Like, I liked that it was following him and what he was doing because it felt like gameplay in a way.
Okay, we're getting conflicting stuff here. Shayla says, Jabby, Neil and Craig confirmed they're keeping her for season 2. Arun Anand says they said they are not going to recast her. Oh no, it's not.
Yeah, it's not conflicting.
It's not conflicting.
What?
I thought I read it
Yes.
without the not.
Yes.
They said they're not going to recast her unless she wants to leave the show.
Jabby has selective dyslexia.
I do. Wait, it's like going to see the Mona Lisa and say her hair should be blonde. It's a work of art. Take it as the artist made it. That's not how this works, dude. That's not how this works. The whole point of this channel is to criticize, to critique.
No, it's to have a
conversation. To commentary, to have a conversation, and call it terrible. Just kidding. Does cordyceps infect animals? We just covered that. Fennec Fox, overall, the season is easily a 4 out of 10. Rushed, lazy, forgettable. That's my... He's obviously very unhappy with the show.
How do you know it's a...
Or she. Fennec Fox. I don't know, ACHARA. I'm just... Okay. There's a big possibility that there are more immune people, but how do you connect those folks and make an impact with trying to... Yes, you wouldn't even know.
You wouldn't know. Yeah.
Sanjaya Bharati. Jabby, I have no idea about the game, but I love the series. And your reaction, always say there's a lot more fighting and shooting in the game, not in series. I think we need more in story in series, not shooting. I think that you don't have to choose one over the other. I think it's a matter of balance. I honestly don't understand. Okay, Kenneth Smith, honestly don't understand your criticism. Why the hell are you comparing the two? If you want exactly the same as the game, play the bloody game. So that's a valid criticism. Where I'm coming from is how the story's being told. And the reason I compare it to the game is because in some instances the game was more effective at conveying certain things, at handling certain things. So it's more like I'm not comparing it to the game like it should have been just like the game. You know, it's that snooty sort of thing. It's more like if they had borrowed these elements from the game, it would have been more effective in terms of executing the story. That's all I'm saying. For instance, the way the hospital scene is handled, most of you guys seem to agree that it was perfect the way it was. Where I'm coming from is I wanted it to feel scary for Joel and Ellie. you know, and that's the sense you get in the game. I don't know why we can't have that in the show.
Well, perhaps, I'm just throwing this out there, it's just a difference in medium, right? When you're in the game, you're in the shoes of the character that you're playing. And so, yeah, there is a certain sense of like fear or whatever, especially if you're a clumsy player like myself and you're just like, oh my God, am I gonna make it out? Whereas in the show, we're kind of consuming it in a different way, you know?
So, I felt more scared for Miles Teller in Whiplash of whether or not he was going to make it to the performance.
Yeah.
Because he forgot his drumsticks. I felt more scared for him than I did for Joel getting to Ellie in this last episode of Last of Us.
Right.
And there was no guns. There was no fighting, you know, in him trying to get there on time. It was just him in a car, and the car got hit, and he's trying to run. You know, like, I felt more scared for him in that moment. So that's all. I'm not saying that, like, because you're saying the game, right? And in the game, you're in that character, and you can. It's like, no, but that's a cop out, in my opinion. It's like, no, like, you could still convey danger and the threat for the main character.
Sure, yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
I'm just trying to be the devil's avocado.
No, but the devil's avocado. I fully acknowledge that a lot of you guys like it and think it's perfect the way it is. I'm part of the minority, you know. There can be a story of conflict which can be built with biological father. What if it was Fedra experiment and they wanted Ellie to be the ideal Fedra fanatic? Nah. I think that kind of takes some of the magic of the show away. But sure, that's a way to go. I was spoiled by the ending when I watched a breakdown video from Emergency Awesome. Yeah, see, that's why ACHARA and I are very careful about, like, the breakdowns that we watch. Generally speaking, Screen Crush handles that very, very well. That's why we, you know, some people have criticized Screen Crush for inaccuracies, but inaccuracies or not, like, he's very careful about not showing too much.
Yeah, not breaking down stuff that we haven't seen in the show yet. Yeah. So if you're like a casual viewer who doesn't know all the things, then you're not going to get spoiled.
Fennec Fox, true, the last episode felt extremely hollow. The payoff to Fennec Fox really is going hard here.
Yeah.
Extremely hollow, didn't pay off. Didn't feel as powerful as it could have been. It actually hurts the season as a whole how lazy everything felt in the end. Well, Fennec Fox, this is your opinion seems to be the minority opinion. I'm not saying that as a criticism of you. I'm just saying it seems to be a minority opinion. It seems like most people really, really, really like the show, and it's gonna do just fine in the next.
Yeah, I mean,
in terms of the turnout for the next season.
I was curious as well because it seemed like with each episode they were definitely like cutting out chunks of time, and because I hadn't played the game, I didn't know if there was like more gameplay and story in between the stuff, like in between each of those episodes that we saw, or if that was a pretty accurate representation of like how time passed in the game. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm asking you.
I didn't get that same sense while playing the game. In the game, you felt the journey.
Right. Whereas this, like, I did feel like it was a bit fast, especially when I saw, like, that it was going to be 9 episodes. I was like, oh. And then as we got through and, like, in the first 3 episodes was only covering, like, the first 15 minutes or so of the game. I was like, how are they going to cover the rest in, like, 6 other episodes? You know what I mean?
It did feel a bit... Yeah, that's what I've been saying, though, is that it felt kind of like a footnotes, you know.
A Cliff's Notes?
Cliff Notes, footnotes. Yeah.
Potato.
I guess Cliff Notes is better.
Yeah.
That's a much better choice of, yeah.
Yeah.
That's Cliff Notes. Yeah, it felt like a Cliff Notes version of the game in some respects. Like like I've been saying this, in some ways it elevates the game. Like the way they expand
in many ways, yeah.
Yeah, in certain ways that they expand, it's actually quite interesting, and I thought it was like they actually bested the game in some areas, but the fact that it felt so truncated for me, I wonder how I would have felt watching the show if I never played the game. Would I feel that still, or is it only because I played the game?
Yeah, it might be because you played the game. Yeah.
Comic Girl 267 says they could make a few seasons showing what Ellie has been doing for the next few years until she's old enough to play Ellie as a 19-year-old, so Bella Ramsey can still play her. I don't think that they would do that given the style of season 1, because season 1 was taking out a lot. So I don't think they would add in a season or 2 just to help Bella Ramsey age into the character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, or we can just believe that she is a 19-year-old girl because she is.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Let's see. Where's Flexor says a too famous. Oh, I don't know what the conversation is here.
They're having a conversation by themselves.
Mr. Diznuts. Miss Diznuts. She can't play older Ellie. She's too young. Didn't play the game, but now Joel's forever Pedro Pascal to me. I can't see another face for that character. That's good, I suppose. Okay, so let's address this. We got enough votes here. How did you feel about Joel's actions? Wrong, but I would have done the same. 45%.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like that's honest.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Wrong, I would have done different. Wow. He did the right thing. Uncertain.
No regrets.
I think the people who are uncertain are the the most moral bunch.
The ACHARAs. No.
You didn't say you were uncertain.
Well, okay. No, I think it's just like I'm uncertain in the sense of like I don't know what I would do in that situation. I feel like my moral compass is telling me like the right thing to do is to sacrifice her, and that
if
that
it was
would
your
be...
sister on the table, if it was your sister,
no, just say my niece.
I think that you would have killed everybody in there twice. Like I don't think you would have hesitated.
I don't know, man.
And you would have done it with a pen.
I would have done it with a pen, but no, it's for the good of humanity.
In case you guys are confused, that's a John Wick reference. So ACHARA had asked me about this, and I told her like, was Joel right? Because she asked, is Joel right or wrong? And I straight up said he was wrong, but I would have done the same thing. It's in our biology, It's like he at some point he registered Ellie as his daughter.
Right.
Changes everything.
Yeah.
When you register someone as your child, the fight for that child becomes totally different. He doesn't want to lose her again. He's not trying to relive that trauma. You know?
Yeah.
And was it selfish? Maybe.
No, maybe it was incredibly selfish.
Well, he was also thinking of her.
He was thinking of her, but in thinking of her, he did the thing that sometimes parents do, where they're like, "I know better for you, and I'm not gonna let you make that choice."
He lied to her. How did you feel? Okay, let's do another poll. Okay, I'm very curious about what you guys feel about this because, like, him lying to her was I don't want to say any more than that. I want to know what you guys felt about that. So we're gonna do a poll about that. Let's see. Start a poll. How did you feel about Joel lying to Ellie? Yes.
Justified.
I would have done the same. Lying is lying. Wrong, Joel. Wrong. What
Any
else?
other options?
I don't know. Tell her half truth. Should have.
What are the options? It's either
I guess that's it.
Like, tell the truth or not.
Uncertain. There.
Uncertain.
Okay, so let me address some of these supers real quick because I've been neglecting them.
Oh, I am a Kobe says, if the vaccine was 100% certain, I would have let it happen. That's the thing, right? Because it wasn't certain. Even I was kind of having those doubts where I was like, well, what if they ended up killing your child? And then they're like, oh, sorry, thanks so much for your sacrifice.
That's
but
unscientific,
also,
though.
It didn't work.
That's unscientific, though, to assume that anything is 100%.
Exactly.
You have no idea.
You have no idea.
No, I mean, it might be like 99%,
Yeah.
But you still don't, like, you, as a scientist, you always have to keep room for error or possible difference. Like, you don't know,
Yeah.
It might not be what you expect it to be. Vishu. Even with the world ending, people will still be horny, ACHARA KIRK.
Yeah, I guess.
Princess Consuelo Banana Folk. Vec. He changed it.
Yeah, you changed your name.
When Marlene was explaining it to Joel, was it clear for you guys that Ellie would die after the surgery in the show? I only knew it because of the game.
It was only clear to me from Joel's reaction. Because I was like, oh, okay, they're having a surgery. And it wasn't until he goes, wait, the infection is in the brain. And then I looked at, like, his face that I was like, oh, shit. They're going to have to cut out a chunk of her brain in order to get the cordyceps and study it. So, yeah. I didn't know until he showed us.
I'm trying to catch up on some of the regular chats here that are standing out to me. Sorry. Joel and Ellie, I'll just start here, I suppose. Yeah, I'll start here. Joel and Ellie weren't aligned. Joel found peace and wanted to come back to Tommy's commune and live a simple life. Ellie was ready to sacrifice herself. She is quiet. What?
She's quiet as she comes to terms with that.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
but she was never given the option, though.
Exactly.
So we don't know for sure in the confines of this story.
But it seems like she was ready to do what was necessary because, you know, she was saying like, oh, there's no we complete this. There's no way back.
Vishal Vishu. ACHARA saying, I know better than you. So basically, Joel's becoming an Indian parent.
Yes.
That's funny.
He is.
Okay. So Joel and Ellie were Ata says, hashtag Loreno. No, he isn't immune.
He isn't human.
Oh, he isn't human. A distant human being would have at least let Ellie choose. He killed people on a whim. Marlene. So she should have woken her up. What do you want? You want to die? For humanity? What do you want to do? What you want to do?
Yeah.
Ellie, come on.
Exactly. I mean,
Well, too late. I killed the doctor.
No, I mean to have that conversation, but then maybe that's not in line with his character because they showed the scene with him and Ellie where they're both the types of people that don't go, I love you, you know, I really care about you and I think about you as a daughter. Like it would involve a lot of vulnerability on his part to like allow her to get woken up and then be like, hey, so I really love you and like I want you to be able to make this choice in your right mind and what this means, you know, is this something that you want to do?
There's no time for that. He would have gotten his head kicked in by a soldier, by a firefly, and they would have just put her under again. He needed to get her out of there.
I guess so. I mean, there's no way Marlene was going to allow him to have that conversation, I guess. Which sucks. She should have been given a choice.
Yeah. But, I mean, this ending is obviously more dramatic, and it's better for it. So, spoiler alert, what Joel did... hold on, ACHARA, don't look at there yet, just in case.
I think I know what that is.
What? You already know?
But don't talk about it, because other people haven't seen, so don't.
People out there looking for excuses to blame Firefly instead of Joel they didn't give her a choice, but did Joel do that?
No, he didn't. He was wrong because he didn't even give her a choice. But then we wouldn't have the show because...
But like, what choice could he have given her though? The thing is...
Do you knowingly want to do this knowing that you're going to die?
How is he supposed to do that? When? He's in the middle of running.
Well, no. If he could get Marlene to agree to like, okay, fine. I don't know, man.
I think that his assumption was that she was going to try to trick him or something like that because she already tricked him. Like, if I'm Joel, now that you did this without giving her the option, I'm going to assume there is no possibility of you giving her the option. And I'm out. Me and my little girl are out. Fuck all of you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You just don't take a chance as a parent. You're not taking that chance. You know, he said it himself. Like, you're just gonna come after her. That's why he took them all out. That's why he executed everybody, because his assumption is they're just gonna come after him.
Yeah. No, I see that.
Did you just check out for a second?
No, yeah, I did.
Okay. Let's see. I think they just showed Loreno. I think they showed the children's pairing on the hospital walls as a little Easter egg. Brian East. Yep, part of the outbreak at the university involved releasing a monkey getting bitten and having a new outbreak happen.
Ooh.
Fungi are dormant in monkeys. Okay. Lorena Oliva. Hashtag Ata. I am not trying to justify him. Please don't get me wrong. I'm saying I see how I would do that if I was in his shoes. That is what makes him human.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think it's like it's relatable.
Yeah. When ACHARA had asked me about that, I was like, yeah, I'd have murdered everybody in there for you. For my mom, for my sister, for my brother, for like any family member, anyone I care about.
Yeah.
I would have like fought hard and took all of them out to get the person I care about out. It's wrong, and I acknowledge that, but like you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, I get it.
I don't know how to not do that. Like, that's like I care about you, whoever that person is. You know, Ellie. So for episode 3, I think they should have just kept the episode as it is, but at the end, let Bill survive, just to have Bill and Ellie interactions, plus having the background for Bill and Frank. Yes, I think that too. But we got what we got.
Yeah, but that was easily one of my favorite episodes in the show.
I don't think I read this. Princess Consuelo Banana Effect. In the conversation of it's a great show, I've played the game, and at the end of both, I was more connected to Joel and Ellie in the show than the game. Really? Interesting. I felt the opposite. I felt more connected to the characters in the game. But he definitely, Nadim says he definitely did do the right thing. He rescued an innocent from being unethically murdered. Murdered! For a science experiment. Do no harm is what doctors swear to. Anyone? Yeah, they took their hypocrite oath.
They didn't take their Hippocratic oath seriously, I guess. But like, okay, but in that situation, if you have the potential cure for mankind, what would you do? I feel like the right thing to do would be to give her a choice. Like, you have to have consent in order for people to harvest your organs, right? But I guess in a post-apocalyptic world, consent is like a privilege, you know?
Yeah, sure. Frost YT says, I will give a 9 out of 10 for the show. Episode 1 was the best episode. Which one was your best episode? I think episode 1 was pretty strong, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, episode 1 was good, but I think because I love like an emotional journey, I think episode 3 for me was just like a standalone, gorgeous, beautiful, moving episode. It's like such a beautiful portrayal of love.
Well, now I have to like kind of go over these to figure out, why does it say 10 episodes on IMDb?
I have no idea because they only show 9.
I guess maybe they just rejigged it or something.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe episode 2 is my favorite. I don't know. Please hold my hand. Oh, no. Left Behind is my favorite episode. The one that people hated. That was my favorite episode. Look at the score.
Yeah.
Look at the score. 9.2, 9.1, 8, 8.4, 9.5, 8.9, 7.4, 9.4, 9.3. The one with the lowest rating, it would just be that, right? Wouldn't it? It would just be that the one with the lowest ratings is my favorite.
Is your favorite one.
Like, naturally.
That was a good one.
That was my favorite one. I'm all about that lesbian love. I don't know, man. I don't know why that one was my favorite. It hit me, though. It hit me like the way that, you know, a marriage proposal might hit me. Speaking of which, we got a good video coming for you guys soon. So I was spoiled of the ending when I watched the breakdown. We covered that. What do you feel about the fight sequence? What do you feel about the fight sequence? Is it just me? But I'm fine with the way it was done. But it was just too small, maybe. I think if the sequence would have been a little longer. Are we talking about the hospital?
I think so.
Yeah, we've been talking about that ad nauseum, I think. Well, we did a poll earlier, and for those of you who are joining us just now, and it seemed that for the people who played the game, let's just say the majority of the people liked the way it was done on the show, and a minority of people felt that it could have been better. I was part of the minority. For people who didn't play the game, it's the same numbers. Majority of people felt like it was fine the way it was, and a minority felt like it could have been better. If the wrong person or organization finds out the truth about Ellie's immunity, then what if they start trying to replicate it by infecting pregnant people? You were talking about that.
Yeah.
Just going off like having a Nazi experiment.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. You know that would happen if people found out, like, oh shit, she became immune by doing that. But I feel like it's one of those things where it all of the circumstances had to be perfect, because I wonder if it could just happen with anyone, or if it was just like a unique combination of Ellie's particular genetics that allowed her to do that. I mean, that's how evolution works. Really, they should just be making Ellie have lots of kids.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully that will get passed on, right?
Yeah.
Lorena, she's like going to be like a queen bee.
Yeah.
Lorena Oliva says, hashtag, I agree, most people wouldn't unless they are literally Joel. Don't you think you really understand Joel? He failed to protect Sarah and Tess. Bill points it out. His brother's having a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, Joel doesn't want to show up to the party being the only one without a kid, right? I mean, come on, that would suck. I don't know, man. That's tough. Because what he did ultimately, like, is sacrifice the rest of humanity.
For one person.
But
well, for two people, really. For him and for her. Because his reasons for having her are
here's how it was put to me once. All of China could die. And while that would be awful, it wouldn't mean as much to me if you died.
Sure.
Right? Like, if you died, that would be profoundly worse.
It's personal.
Than all of China, getting killed, right? And it's, that was said to me, that was expressed to me, and I was like, well, that's like a very interesting way to like kind of juxtapose it.
Yeah.
And I think that was the case for Joel. It's like all of humanity can go to hell. Ellie's all that matters. That's what that was for him.
Yeah.
And I get it, you know?
Yeah.
Someone was, I don't know if we're going to cover it. Like, I don't know if I skipped it by accident, but someone was asking why Joel lied. Like, why did he have to lie? And I think that's just a parental thing. That's like what parents do.
Yeah. You protect. That's what you do. Like, you don't want to say things that are going to potentially hurt your child, maybe. Like, I get it. I don't know how you're supposed to parent. I'm not a parent.
Sorry for the caps. I think they lost the opportunity for casting Ashley Johnson as older Ellie. I don't think they would have ever casted her for older Ellie. That was never going to be the case.
Yeah, no.
Shutosh, there could be conflict which can be built with real father.
You already said that.
As someone who's played the game first, I found it difficult to be a fair judge of the show because of my preconceptions. I wish it had a few more episodes, but it was ultimately very faithful to the game. I felt the same thing. Yeah, I wish it had more episodes. I don't know what the hell happened. Like, there should have been at least 10 or more. Like, you want to deviate and go here and go there, fine. But, like, it just felt like they kept skipping forward. Like, why?
Yeah.
Why?
Sure.
To be honest, I am so tired of, but in the game.
I mean, that's going to happen.
Yeah, I hear you, man. But in the game, like, I believe the motivation is at least, there you go. In my house, we were arguing why they didn't wake her. I think it comes down to Marlene not wanting to wake her because she might say no.
Yeah.
Joel didn't want to wake her because she might say yes.
Yeah. No, that was the whole thing. It's like they're both afraid of the answer that she's going to give. I saw someone ask the question as well. I missed your name, sorry, but they asked, like, would I sacrifice my life for, finding a cure for cordyceps? I don't know. I mean, the part of me, the natural human instinct in me is like, I don't want to die. I don't want to die.
If they had a strong, obviously, like if it was like 99%, like yes, this is gonna work, I would do it.
I would, yeah.
And I don't think I would. I don't even think I would hesitate to make the decision. It would be very like difficult to go through that process.
Yeah.
But I don't think I would hesitate.
Well, that's the thing. Like, if it was like, we think, like, there's a very, very high likelihood that we could find a cure based off of the stuff that we find in your brain or whatever. For me, it's different, right? Like, I'm older than Ellie. I've had a bit of a life, and so I can be like, I mean, it would suck, obviously, but like for the sake of humanity, fine. But Ellie is still so young. Do you know what I mean? But I guess the question is like, and the question that Marlene puts to Joel is like, well, what life is there for her? Out in the world. She gets torn apart by some infected, or she gets killed by raiders. Like, what is the future in this world? Right. She makes a good argument.
Rolexer, thank you for your super chat. You're keeping the lights on, the roof over our head, and the candy in the char's stomach.
Snacks in my tummy.
That Asha F says, that didn't click for me at first. I was like, okay, see you when you wake up. Wait, what?
You always read the like comments.
I'm trying to catch up to all the like gossip over here, and I'm having a hard time because it jumps forward whenever I make a poll.
Oh.
So I gotta like back up. Where is it? I believe them. Okay, here we go. Was I the one hoping? Well, Rebel Fly. Was I the only one hoping for some crazy twist change from the game, like killing off Joel, or for example? I was kind of thinking that. I don't know, man. That would have been interesting if they did that.
Oh my God, the outrage.
There would have been some outrage from the gamer community for sure.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, I don't know, man. That would have been something to like definitely have it stand apart from the. Yeah.
Yeah.
Abhinav says Jabby loves to criticize filmmakers. Not really. I think that people misconstrue like. This idea that like if you are criticizing something, like you don't like it. It's like you can like something a lot and still criticize it.
Sure.
And have a conversation about how it could have been different. It's like I'm not attacking the filmmakers. I'm saying if I had some degree of control over the story, like I would have gone this way instead, or my little wish list is this. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what makes these discussions. So small details would have been great. Him touching his watch at the end, explaining to Ellie, you have to keep finding something to fight for. Also, Ellie being zoned out, hearing Joel calling her name.
I feel like they had those details. Like, I understood exactly what he was talking about.
I think he should have smacked her over the head with the watch, being like, you gotta survive. Survive.
They did.
We the Last of Us.
Yeah. They did show the watch when he was knocked out after they threw the stun grenade or whatever, and then like he got whacked in the back of the head. I noticed the watch coming into the camera frame. I feel like that was a deliberate choice to kind of prime us for what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Masiapula says, I probably read that terribly. She's almost 40, yo. No way she's going to play a 15 to 19-year-old. Hey, she looked pretty good for 40. I'd have her play.
Ashley Johnson?
Ashley Johnson, yeah.
She looks amazing.
Yeah.
I think she's great.
Yeah. She didn't look a day over 19. She could play Ellie.
She does look young, yeah.
If the game was Ashley Johnson cannot play Ellie live action. Hey guys, do you know? Okay. My elderly relatives liked to tease me at weddings, saying, "You'll be next." They soon stopped though. Once I started doing the same to them at funerals.
That's hilarious.
Lorena, definitely. I see it. People like Joel would do what he did. It was very realistic. I found when I played. Oh, no, don't look. But yeah, okay, I don't know what that is.
No, I mean, I know what happened, Jabby. I watched you play it.
You don't know everything.
I do. I know a lot of things about season
you forget
part
things.
2. Okay, I do forget things.
The only thing, I had mixed opinions on why Ellie had been a little sus of Joel. And like kind of thought he lied about the fireflies, whereas in the game she was kind of joyful in the car. Okay, see? He misremembered too. It's not just me. Like, I remember, I did a pinned comment on the episode.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wonder if they changed it. It's entirely possible they changed it and they used a different performance. Because, like, with each iteration of the game, they enhance it.
Oh, yeah.
They made Marlene look older in PS5. Like, they aged her up. So, I don't know. I got to go back and look at the PS3 ending. Because Halant is remembering it the way I remember it. I thought she was a little bit more upbeat and peppy. And that's just a byproduct of the fact that she just has Ashley Johnson just has a sweeter tone to her, Barry Allen. Did you guys watch the Oscars yesterday? Just clips, highlights. Mr. 47. It's hard not to think of the game if you played before watching the show.
Yeah.
So it's guaranteed the operation will be a success. I believe Joel Pedro is in mid-50s. Please banned. Okay, the show is great. I watched your reactions. Both of you cried. Yep.
Yeah, it was funny too because we cried in different parts, which I think is really great because I feel like the show has something for everyone and it can affect you in different ways. Because I was really connecting to Anna and her plight, right? Like as a mother and having to lose time with her child, but being willing to sacrifice everything for
her. Look at this. God. Or if you jeez, so many people were like, I'm out. Fuck humanity.
Self-preservation.
Me and He-Man are out. That's a Kevin Hart reference.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry, you were talking about Anna?
Yeah, no, I was just connected to her and that made me cry. And then you cried with the whole Joel and Ellie connection and like them. When was it? Did you cry after the giraffes? No, you cried after they basically said I love you without saying I love you.
When it was like it wasn't time that did it.
Yeah.
Oh, like, God damn it, Joel. God damn you, Pedro Pascal. Making me cry and shit.
Stop making me have feelings.
I
came to this show for the infected.
Yeah.
You didn't deliver.
Yeah.
Instead, you're making me feel things. Make it stop.
Yeah, I am Kobe. Yeah. I am a Kobe.
Like a Kobe beef?
Okay, the series itself skips through the journey that you go through with Joel and Ellie. Episode 3 was good, but they didn't need to show us that, or at least add another episode. I agree. Give me more. Come on. Give me pie. Or cake.
Like,
no, give me cake.
I want more.
Just give them cake.
Let them have cake.
She was not joyful in the car scene at all in the game, Shayla says. No, guaranteed in the game, and the same in the series. Marlene says it could help create a cure, but it's not 100%. Yep.
Yeah.
I like the show in general, but I wish somebody would make a series capturing the horror and thrill of the game instead of the behind the scenes not shown in the game. Like first episode, you can feel the horror. Yeah.
Yeah.
They did just enough just to give you what was going on in the world. That's it. You know. They didn't want to spend any more time on it than they had to. So, which is kind of like interesting because, what's his name? Craig Mazin.
Yeah.
You didn't watch Chernobyl, right?
No, I didn't.
Okay. In Chernobyl, a lot of emphasis is placed. Like I know why they tapped him. So much emphasis is placed on the horrifying results of this Chernobyl incident.
Yeah.
Like they don't shy away from the gross nature of what happens to these people. They want you to know. They want you to see it.
Yeah.
Like there are hospital scenes with people falling apart.
Ooh.
And like this is what happens after 24 hours. This is 48 hours. This is 72 hours. And like you just see them like rapidly deteriorating, and it's awful, and it's so gross. So it's a little shocking to me that in The Last of Us they didn't like go harder with the infected. But whatever. It was reported that the season had a budget of $100 million with limited action scenes. What did they spend the money on?
Oh,
the giraffe. Duh. It was worth it. Just for the giraffe.
It was worth it. The giraffe was amazing.
I've never lost my mind over a giraffe before. Never. When I saw the giraffe, I'm like, oh my God, it's a giraffe.
Giraffes are really cool.
Princess Consuela Banana Effect. I guess one of the reasons why you like the game or show better is where you're at in life. I was 13 when I played the game, and now I'm 17. I can relate to. You are so young.
Wow.
When I played the game, I'm 17. I can relate to Joel's darker thoughts and his arc more now, so I am connected more with the show.
Dang, you're pretty mature for 17. I mean, I feel like Joel's...
Way back when I was 13, I was this just little snotty little kid, but now I'm a whole 16 years old.
13, I was just like...
Now I'm a grown man.
Running around killing people in the game, and it was fun.
Let's see, Marlene. Jabby, season 2, Florence Pugh is Abby.
I think Florence Pugh is great.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about her as Abby.
I think she's capable. She's a very good actress.
Of course she is, yeah. She's very good.
But I think that she would have to put on so much muscle.
She's quite muscly, but she's small.
Not that muscly.
No, but I mean, I think in terms of like...
Like when you told me that Natalie Portman got muscled up for Thor 2, I was like, she looks like she did some Pilates classes. I can give you that.
No, did you not look at her biceps? They were big for her.
All right, if you say so.
No, but Florence Pugh, I mean, she did do that that movie Fighting with My Family, and she played a wrestler.
Okay, so
like,
I never told you this, but as
what?
a kid, whenever my family took us whenever we went to Fedco is a department store. Okay. I don't know if I should share this. So we would go to Fedco, and one of the things I would do to like occupy myself to just like kill time is I go to the magazine section. And if I were to pick up a Playboy, would be too obvious.
Oh, okay.
Right?
I kind of had a feeling that this was headed in that
direction.
direction.
I would pick up a Nintendo Power. I'd pick up GameStop, not GameStop. Game Pro.
Okay.
Game Pro, and Muscle Mag. Muscle Mag was like saucy, but it wasn't like completely naked.
Okay.
You know, but it was like muscly women. Not too muscly, but muscly enough. And I'll tell you what, Natalie Portman does not compare to those ladies that I have in my memory. She didn't look that muscular compared to like what I saw in that Muscle Mag magazine. Now maybe those women are hopped up on steroids or something like that, or just more focused on like deadlifts and bench presses and stuff like that. When you say like, oh, she's just bulked out, I'm like, she looks like a Pilates teacher to me.
What?
Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, I don't think Florence Pugh wants to look like that.
Sure, but I think she's capable, like, just because of her body type. She naturally leans towards athletic. So
Nadim L says, killing an innocent for the good of humanity is still unethical. You can murder! You have to find another way.
Right, but then if you give the person the choice, right, it sucks, but, like, they should understand what they're, like, doing. Do you know what I mean?
I don't understand these numbers. Oh, Pedro alone is $900K per episode. It's a $10 million of the
Yeah,
budget.
I figured that like maybe some of the actors were expensive, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Dang, Pedro's making bank. Good for him. After slogging away in Hollywood for 20 plus years. Just being like, now is my time. Pay me.
Hospital scene was better in the show due to the close-ups of dead fireflies and that scene of Joel killing with a knife. That was harrowing, to say the least. All right. I feel like he should have told the truth. She's going to be broken for a while, but she would have come back. He may have very well sacrificed the world, but then again, a cure wasn't guaranteed.
Yeah. That's the dilemma, isn't it? It's like, are you willing to sacrifice for the potential?
I love this show. My sons both had played the game, but mom loves the show. Don't care how different from the game since I didn't play. Ren Eisburn. The lie is my problem with the ending. I don't think Joel should have lied. They did a good job showing how much Joel cared. Without Ellie, Joel probably would have killed himself. Ellie should know that.
Right. But I just feel like, so if they did that scene, it could be interesting actually to see the repercussions of that, because, you know, if he's like, so you would have died from the operation because they would have had to cut out a part of your brain and you wouldn't be able to live after that. And I just couldn't let that happen. So I killed everyone and I got you back. And then, like, what would happen? A massive argument ensues? Something?
It's less interesting.
Yeah.
The way that they played it in the game and the show is way more interesting. Profoundly more interesting.
Ambiguous.
Yeah, the ambiguous ending of, like, he lies to her and you're not sure if she buys it or not. That's so much more interesting.
And so she accepts.
Yeah.
She accepts the lie.
Yeah.
And is like, okay.
The lie is my problem. Main criticism from Flexorist. Say what you will with GOT and HOTT. They ended series with a cliffhanger or space for theories. With the Tilu, even if it doesn't get renewed, it felt done with that ending.
That's why I feel like maybe originally HBO wasn't that confident about this show. And so they're like, okay, well, let's end it in such a way that if it doesn't get renewed for another season, it's a satisfying ending. It feels like a closed loop. What?
When I played the game, I thought it was just like a bit convenient that Ellie had to die for this cure.
Yeah, it does seem like a little like, what, you couldn't draw blood?
Well,
you couldn't, like,
yeah, like that's one thing, is drawing blood, right?
I don't know, a spinal tap perhaps.
Another thing, you are right. I'm like, so you have to take her whole brain apart?
Yeah,
like you can't just take like a little piece.
What are the options here? Can we try other things first?
Yeah,
before we resort to, it's death.
Yeah, maybe they went through all those options. They went through the gamut of options, and I would have appreciated.
With who though? It seems funny that they would just like kill their only subject.
That's true. Yeah.
But yeah, maybe they've experimented on like monkeys or whatever, and they're like, we're ready for the human trials. It means death.
Yeah, but that's my response to Batman Forever. Valorant ranting. I feel like he shouldn't have responded, and the scene should have just cut to black. We knew he didn't respond, but we knew he didn't respond. I like the lying better. I think it works better for the ending. It's more impactful, personally. I don't. This business with the spitting top. I don't want. I don't need that shit. Like, I like that we just got that he lied, and she's like, all right, and then it ends there. That to me is more powerful.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I would have been pissed if it ends on his just expression. You know what I mean? But I don't need another spinning top. It's gonna make me crazy. I feel like he should have. I finally caught you guys live, and it's my 40th birthday today. Love y'all. Thanks for the amazing content over the years. Gamers, thumbs. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
If I knew your name, I would say your name. Silver Ninja X. I mean, Joel, live with it so Ellie doesn't have any regrets. No regrets.
Well, yeah, and that's what parents do, right? Is they would rather bear the burden of the heavy things so as to protect their children from the knowledge of stuff that might, like, just make them feel really bad.
Irony is that, as far as I know, as well as per your reaction, scientific video reaction, cordyceps leave brain and affect everything else. That's true. No, that's true, actually.
Yeah.
Would Ellie sacrifice herself if she knew... Hold on. Would Ellie sacrifice herself if she knew it might cause Joel to kill himself again? I think she would. I don't know. Actually, knowing what I know, I don't... No, she wouldn't.
Yeah, I don't know. And we'll never know because she was never given the option.
Ellie wasn't going to die. She isn't even aware of her dying during the operation. She says in the last episode she would follow Joel everywhere after the hospital. Did you watch the show, dude? Like, she would have died. That was the point. It seems like she thought they just wanted her blood. She told Joel she would follow him anywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
She wasn't aware.
No, that's unfair.
She is 15, and in an ideal world, Ellie wouldn't have mattered. Oh, consent wouldn't have mattered. If Fireflies would have wanted to restore order, she should have had proper consent.
Yeah, it's like they want to build a new world order, but then when it suits them, they act in the same way as like the oppressors, you know. Men bad,
women good. This is what the show is. How are you getting that?
Yeah, that's an interesting comment because I'm like, if that was the case, I feel like Marlene should have been shown in a more positive light, but I don't feel that she was. I think it's just like humanity's fucked. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I didn't get the gender thing.
Yeah, no, I didn't kind of see. I mean, there were plenty of examples of horrible women.
Nadim, I actually brought this up in our breakdown video.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not gonna spoil it here.
Yeah. I can't with that conversation.
What would you do, Jabby, if it was you? I'd throw me in the chamber. If I'm gonna save humanity, as long as it's like, you know, more guaranteed. I would ask questions at the very least. I'd be like, so you can't just take like a piece.
Yeah.
Like just a little piece. Like you got to take the whole thing. Come on.
Yeah.
Like come on.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, well, is there a way that we can do this where I don't die?
Yeah. Alexander Aldelemi, when I played the game back in 2013, I'm old, I liked the ending because it was Joel's way of saying fuck F you to the world that took so much from his life. I could see that.
Sure, yeah.
Alicia Aurora, she could have never been given a choice by Marlene. Despite everything, she was okay with sacrificing for the greater good. If she said no, would Marlene let her walk out? Nope. That's true.
Yeah. Marlene, like, yes, she believes in this new world order, but she also is like hard as nails.
Big Joe H says the show's very different because in the game you have a lot more context on the Fireflies. They aren't the good guys and are not at all competent enough for you to think that they could make a cure. I mean, the show establishes that Joel and Ellie got there, like, handedly, like, dishing out ass kicking, right?
Yeah.
And the Fireflies were taking L's all the way to the finish line.
I know.
It's like, it's pretty clear in the show that, you know, they're not the most competent group. Even the way they escorted Joel out. Like, I'm like, are you for real? The show just established that Joel got here with Ellie, like, by themselves, right?
Yeah.
And to Marlene's shock and dismay.
Oh my God, I did not expect you here.
Here's
your reward.
How
death.
did you get here? How did you make it across when we suffered so much casualties?
Yeah.
And then the guys, as she sends them out with two dudes, like, first off, you dumb. Two guys. And then secondly, the two most incompetent fellers, because they're not even like keeping their sidearms trained on him. They're just like pushing him out, guns holstered. I'm like, are you for real? Do you know who this dude is?
Do you know that this is Joel?
Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, easily he was going to take him out. And then when Joel, like, knocked one of them into the wall, the other guy was still, like, fetching for his gun. I'm like, yeah, you dumb. Like, in the game, we saw a small clip of it in the breakdown from Screen Crush.
Uh-huh.
One of the guys had their gun out. It's like, yeah, that's what you should have done. You know, but whatever. Who am I to criticize military procedure?
I guess Technical Laser said something that was pretty cool, but I don't know what you said.
El Chupanibre. I think what I'm conflicted about is that if it was Sarah, yeah, kill everyone, lie to her. She's a child. She's his child. But Ellie was not his child. Even stated that Outrage is not Sarah.
Yes, but she is his child to him now. Like, she has become his child. How did you guys feel about all that chit chat that he was doing at the end where he was kind of talking about Sarah and like being like, oh, yeah, you know, Sarah was like this and we used to do this. You know, oh, Sarah had a beautiful smile. Wait, I'm not saying that you don't, but, you know, I think you guys would have been friends.
Yeah.
Like, how did you guys feel about that?
Alexander Adelemi says, did I read that right? Adelemi, yeah. The world felt really empty, like barely any infected. There could have been more infected in the mall with Ellie and Riley in the game.
Yeah.
Like in the game. Spoiler alert. Okay, let's just move on then. Given Ellie's only 14, on the cusp of adulthood, would she have made an informed decision? I don't know, man.
Also a good point. But also maybe, I guess in this kind of world, how long are you a child for, really? It sucks.
Yeah, that's true. No, that's a good point. I think by the time you're 13, 14 years old, you're basically a grown-up in that kind of environment. Arpit Gupta says, I think everyone hated 7 because it felt like a filler. I don't know how that was a filler. That was actually backstory on the main character. Whereas the Bill and Frank episode was a complete deviation that had nothing to do with the main characters.
Yeah, if you're going to talk about filler episodes, I guess those two were both filler episodes in a way. But I mean, I think they were both good. I think I also agree with you in the sense of like, cool, have those episodes. They feel good. I enjoyed them, but then also just have a few more episodes to flesh out the main story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Rebel Fly, Left Behind was misunderstood in my opinion. People focused on the lesbian love part too much and overlooked the brilliant depiction of coming of age and growing up story for Ellie.
Yeah. It was a good
Yeah, that's my point. That's part of my point. I don't understand people not liking that episode.
Oh, that's an interesting thing. A question. Go up. There was something about the Indonesian woman. Do you all remember the Indonesian woman saying to bomb the city, would you do that to save the world? Kind of how I view it with what Joel did for Ellie. No, but like the Indonesian scientist, she accepted that everyone was going to have to die. That was completely different from Joel. She knew the sacrifice that would have to be made. And all she asked was like, I just want some time to go home and be with my family. I want to be with them when this happens, you know? Whereas Joel was like, no, I'm gonna save my child and we're gonna get the hell out because you're all dumb and I'm not about to risk my child's life for this cure, which may or may not happen. So like, screw you, I'm out. I don't think it was the same, but that is interesting.
Here, Gamer Stubborn responds to you. The reason he was blabbermouth at the end was for 20 years he wasn't, so it was all coming out all at once, and it felt a little off, but made sense. Optimus Prime. Thank you so much for your generous super. Really appreciate it. 1, episode 2, Joel says, we have heard this before, nothing works. 2, finale, Marlene says the doctor thinks this says all what Joel thinks of Cure. Optimus Prime.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, like they said, like we've said, like the show is really well done.
Autobots, roll out.
Yes. All of the clues are there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like we completely understand this character's motivations because they have written him so well and showed us everything.
That's a great question. What do you think Tess would have done if she was alive?
Oh, jeez.
Let's see.
What would she have done?
What would Tess
WWTD.
have done
what would
if
Tess do?
she was alive? Sacrifice Ellie or push to sacrifice Ellie.
Save Ellie.
Push to save Ellie.
What else?
Catch an L.
Catch an L?
I don't know.
But she was, Tess became a true believer. So what would she do? She'd probably, I don't know. I'll wait to hear what you guys say before I start talking in case I influence any decisions.
Abido says, completely logicless video. You are trying to join different things. You are liking the most hated episode, really? You just criticize good from bad. What are you talking about?
This is all opinions, dude.
Like, you know, like people think I'm always out to do something. Like on our Little Mermaid reaction, someone said I was low-key trying to stir controversy or something like that. And I'm like, do you not know me? Like, I don't give a shit about controversy. That's not my bag. I'm just being me. Oh, that can't be really what you think. Or you're trying to do this over here. You're like, so many conspiracy theorists out there. It's like, can you like redirect this energy at the spaceships that are flying around the oceans right now? Like, or the air balloons? Like, redirect your conspiracy theories over there. I'm just a dude. I'm just a dude with a microphone saying what I feel. It's not that deep. Like, people think it's deeper than it is. Emmanuel Barte. Or Emmanuel.
Yeah.
Am I reading that name right? Emmanuel Barte.
Emmanuel.
Expanding on sacrifice, at what percentage of success for a cure would you be willing to sacrifice yourself for? 1%. Only if we understood more why the Fireflies were rushing it in research.
Yeah. It's like, is that...
They were rushing it, weren't they?
Yeah, they really were. They didn't even give her a chance. They were like, oh, cool, you're okay? Let's put you under so we can, like, do this surgery on you.
Yeah, it's pretty awful.
Yeah. I mean, usually those types of things, like when people study stuff, they wait for the person to die. But I guess they're like, we've waited 20 years. We don't want to wait any longer. You have to die now.
Right.
You know?
Trooper 66, right? Who's paying you guys? Exactly. Exactly. Like anytime they go, oh, shill for Disney, Disney's paying them. It's like, oh, my God. I think I'd have a better house and better equipment if Disney was paying for everything. Do you think season 2 would deviate from the games because of the divisive storyline? I think, I don't know, man. I feel like season 2 could go about things in a more effective way, because season 2, the Last of Us Part 2 took the sliding doors approach, or the sliding doors. Maybe that's a bad example. More like Vantage Point. You know, you just keep. You never watch Vantage Point?
No.
I'm the funniest thing is I'm actually a fan of that kind of storytelling, where you go through the story and then you back up and go through it from someone else's perspective.
Yeah.
I actually think that's an interesting way to conduct a story, but like it's very difficult to do that and keep it compelling.
Sure.
So
yeah,
like they did that in Pulp Fiction a little bit, but it was just one moment. Did you watch Pulp Fiction?
I did.
Okay.
It's been a while though.
Okay, so when not Marcellus Wallace, when Sam Jackson, Jules, when he gives his like biblical monologue before killing the guy, they backtrack and see it from another guy's perspective.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but that's the only time that they do that, right?
Right.
So there's ways to go about it, but in a game where you go through this whole journey.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to go through all that again, like starting over from like Act 1. It feels a little weird.
Sure.
And so I think that what they might do is they might merge the two.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think it's really interesting in terms of like what it makes you...
I don't even understand this.
What you think. Sorry,
Yeah. No, go ahead. Sorry.
You go ahead. That's fine.
No, I was just going to read the super chat real quick.
Go ahead.
You go first. Let's talk about Last of Us Season 2.
That's short.
Okay. That's what she said. Visual.
Just get it over with. That's what she said.
It's not deeper like you think. Sounds like my ex. I don't even understand that. That's why I laughed. I was like, that doesn't even make any sense. But go ahead.
No, I was just going to have a conversation about like, I do find it interesting when storytellers do the thing where they kind of try and make you see things from different characters' perspectives, right? Because, as we always say, like, everyone is the hero of their own story.
Yes.
And so from one perspective, a person can be an absolute villain, but then you see the reasons why they do that thing and you're like, oh, I have a little bit more empathy towards you. And I feel like that kind of helps you expand your horizons as like just a human living in the world when you're just like a little bit more empathetic of people and like what they might be going through rather than immediately branding someone like a villain or as being awful or whatever, because you don't know what happened to them and vice versa.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I just think that there was a guy on YouTube who did a breakdown of Last of Us 2's story in the game, and he explained the better way to go about it, and I was inclined to agree with him. It's just that, like, I don't think you can take someone on that whole emotional arc and then make them do it again. That's it. It's just like it has to be at the same time. And so, I feel like that's what they're going to do with the show. I feel like it would be a disservice to the story to do it exactly like the game.
Valorant Ranting says, you know what I missed in the last episode? The Molotov cocktail.
That's true.
I did love the Molotov cocktails in the game. That was fun. But I love crafting. I would just like craft a bunch of stuff.
Tess would have done the same thing. She lost her husband and son, but couldn't shoot her son after shooting her husband.
Good point.
I believe you should choose to believe the scientists were confident in the cure, the same way you choose to believe in zombies for the show.
Okay.
I thought there was a joke in there.
Yeah.
The whole ending of Tila was about how the world took something from Joel's life, and this time he had a choice and took something precious from the world.
Sure.
It's very cynical.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of the wait we will have before season 2? I feel the waits between seasons and new shows nowadays is a bit long.
It is long, but I think it's because they have to wait and see what the public response is going to be. It's not fiscally responsible to start pouring another like 100 million or however many dollars into a season 2 if the part 1 of season 1 like releases and it sucks, you know what I mean? And people don't like it, then it's like, oh well that's a waste of money. So while it's upsetting that we're not going to get a new season next year, you know, that's just how it is. I'd rather wait for good quality.
Yeah. Jabby, I think the best to bring back Troy Baker's Joel by asking Loki. We need a variant of Joel. The whole point of the series is to show the journey of Joel and Ellie, why love can be such a powerful tool. It can destroy you or make you whole. Yeah.
It can make you whole and destroy the world.
Yeah. I just think that I don't know, man. With all the way the story was told, I feel like we did lose out on some opportunities to just spend time with Joel and Ellie. It felt like that. Sometimes it almost felt background, you know. Like you think about how much time in the 9 episodes we went away from Joel and Ellie to like develop something else that ultimately just gets killed off anyway.
Right.
You know. But I guess that's part of the point. They're the last of us.
The last of us.
The second game was controversial. The problem with going at the same route, you can lose 50% of players after they bought your game and be a success. The show losing 50% of viewers after 2 episodes.
True.
No, I think that. Oh man, yeah.
I don't know. I wonder if they'll be able to pull it off. Cause that if the controversy is the thing that I'm thinking of that happens fairly early on. That would be really upsetting. But I'm very curious to see how they handle that.
This has come up a few times. Where is it? There's a shadow of a female with a braid in her hair that escapes the hospital during one of the shots.
Oh, is that the Easter egg of that's Abby? I didn't see it. I didn't notice it. Did you?
I didn't catch that. No, I didn't catch that. But I mean, maybe.
I'm sure that that would be amazing. Like, because then they can do that as a callback in episode 2, and then we'd all be like, "Oh my God, we missed it when we were watching it the first time." Yeah.
This is the last poll I'm gonna do, and it feels like this is an obvious one. Which one told the story better? The game, the show.
Both are amazing. That should be an option.
Too much pressure. I don't want to say that. I don't want to say both because that's a cop out. I want you to have to pick or say I don't know.
Okay, fine.
You know?
That's well. Actually, I haven't.
I expected something different.
I haven't played the whole game, so I don't know.
I expected something different with the ending. I expected something different with the ending. I didn't like that Joel goes full Rambo 1 versus 20 dudes. It took me out of the drama itself. See, they kind of set that up though. They should. Okay, to that, they should have given us more in the episode with the preacher. You know?
Yeah.
Of him like doing his thing, his Rambo thing, his John Wick. I don't know, man. What do you think?
I don't know.
I would have liked more, but they gave us just enough according to people. Bro, you what? Oh, you should have been on Jabby Kuwait channel, bro. That is you're dead naming that channel, bro. It's called Thinadaisty. Anyway, why Joel never had any feelings for Tess? Did I miss something? It was complicated. He lost his daughter and he was never over it.
He wasn't ready to let someone else into his heart for fear of losing her, and then he did lose her in the end, so.
Yeah. Vishal Vishu. Jabby, just of context for above, my ex, go deeper. Me, it's deep. My ex, it's not deeper like you think. Me.
Oh, that you have a small penis? I was confused. Why would you say that about yourself?
That's a great super chat to conclude on, I guess. The show, 44% said, oh my gosh.
Wow. But still 37% think the game is better. So it's pretty close. And 20% are me. I cannot decide. But I don't know the game. that well. So I've not had the experience of playing the game.
It's pretty close, actually. I mean, if you just take the people, if you just extract the people who played the game, from this poll, like, actually, no, now it's favoring the show. It's a landslide. Yeah, it's favoring the show. I'm surprised, but maybe people are chiming in who've never played the game.
Yeah, it's really close. It's like 40%, and yeah, it's pretty much neck and neck.
Visual. It's a joke, ACHARA. Come on. No, she got that it was a joke. She's not opposed to a joke. She just didn't understand the joke.
I don't get it. That's why.
It just wasn't doing it for her. I'm sorry, Vishal Vishu, but thank you for your super chats. You're keeping the lights on, roof over our heads, and
snacks in my belly.
Snacks in ACHARA's belly. The Rambo moment I thought was really quick and not enough tension. He just mowed through the fireflies like they were nothing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's what you've been saying.
Yeah. We got kind of caught up in talking about the last episode.
I know, but like, okay. Well, what did you feel about the show as a whole?
It's terrible. Just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm joking. Do you think Tommy will be mad at Joel? I played the second game, so I have played the game, but I think for normal viewers, more than 9 episodes would have been extended. They had two choices: either show much action, or play us with emotions, and they nailed it.
Yeah, I'm not mad at them for choosing to focus on the emotions, because I feel like that's a deeper choice than just, doing the spectacle of the violence and everything. It's like there's so much violence in content these days. It's nice to just kind of have it pared back a little bit and focus on like the moral dilemma and the humanity.
Outside of a couple of moments, the show... actually, never mind. I was going to say something really stupid.
Okay.
Forget it. No, I'll just keep it. I need someone like ACHARA in my life. Damn, I'm alone, according to Alberto Cortez. Anyway.
Yeah, I think Jabby would say you don't want an ACHARA in your life.
That's not what I would say.
No?
You just need to keep her at a distance. The action scenes in the game added to the emotional scenes in the game. That's why the game did it better. Aha. So anyway, I think we've beat this horse to death. So you guys, thanks so much for hanging out with us. Hopefully you enjoyed this discussion and the show. And thank you for all the super chats. Really appreciate y'all. Thank you to the regular chats just hanging out. And thank you to everybody watching this on playback. Y'all have been awesome. This has been fun. Be well. And there you go. So I'm Jabby Kawai. This is
ACHARA KIRK.
Peace out, y'all.